let, let's get down to business, son. The second fight of our 267 men card is Li Zhengli versus our boy Khamzat Chimaev. If you've heard anything on this show, folks, it's that Chimaev is the real fucking deal. But first, we must introduce the Leech. He's coming at 18-6. This guy has heavy power in his hands. He's only has one loss to Neil Magny in his last 5 fights. He's 33 years old. This is going to be in the welterweight division, I believe, at 170. He's coming at 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. And Chimaev is undefeated, 9-0. He's coming in at 170 as well, 6'2" with the 75-inch reach. So height and reach advantage for Chimaev. Let me just gush here a little bit, pal. Chimaev, this guy is a stud. I think he's the next up. I think this guy, I mean, other than Colby Covington, is really the only guy I think that can take down Kamaru Usman in the title chase. But Chimaev, super strong hands. We saw that in his last fight against Gerald Mearshart, who looked good in his last fight as well, but starched him. One punch, I believe, and just sat him down, knocked out his lights. It was amazing. Other than that, his other fights in the UFC took both his opponents down at 170 and 185 and just beat them to a pulp, smashed them. That would have made Khabib very happy. I mean, good Lord, has he been nothing short of dominant. And on the other side, Leech, Li Jingliang, he is a veteran in the octagon. He's been there since 2014, I believe, had his fair share of wins and losses. But his game plan is to walk you down and hit you in the face hard. This guy has really good power for 175 and has starched a lot of people.
No, man, I agree. I think this fight excites me because I think a lot of people respect the power on both sides. I mean, as you should. That's a very, good conclusion to come to if you watch these guys fight. But I think this is going to be a chess match. I think they're both a little bit more flat-footed kind of guys that are looking for that one shot right on the button that's just going to put your lights out. So I think it's going to be interesting to see who's using their feints and who's using the more creative tactics to enter, because I think that will be the person that will ultimately end the fight. As much as I said the last one might be a decision, this one is not going 3 rounds.
Yeah, this is not going 3 rounds, so you can put your money on that.
Absolutely not.
One thing I have to say is Chimaev has some of the quickest takedowns I have seen in the UFC. I think nobody really even comes close to his ability to shoot and get somebody to the ground so easily. That's not to say that the Leech won't give him a tough go round, because his legs are like tree trunks in the 170 division. But I think here's what is going to happen, in my opinion. I think that the Leech, he likes to throw big, like, looping bombs. And I think Chimaev is just going to see one of those bombs and is just going to duck under and take him down. And then once he gets him to the ground, it's like a wet blanket. He's not breathing. He's going to be out of there.
Look, I agree. I absolutely agree. I think they're going to take a little bit of time to figure each other out, which is a very strange thing to hear someone say when you're talking about Khamzat Chimaev, but he's coming off of COVID. I don't think that that's going to negatively impact him as bad as some people think, but he hasn't been in the octagon in over a year. Like, I think there's some factors that are going to come in and affect his performance. But when I say affect his performance, I mean like maybe the first 2 minutes of the first round, he might be a little more gun shy than usual. This guy he's a fighter. He is the definition of a fighter, and he throws down. He's about as good all around as I've seen in a really long time.
I've never seen him start a fight slow. He's got it done within the first round or first 2 rounds every time he's been out. And I don't even see this getting close to the 3rd round.
No, not a 3rd round. I think they're going to box for a little while. I think they're going to, feel each other out on the feet. Like you said, I think Chimaev's going to get him on the ground pretty easily. But I think the Leech is a pretty tough guy. I think he's pretty durable. we're talking about Boar's power here. We're talking about Chimaev power here. So that might all be different on Saturday, but I see the Leech getting out of the first round just because he's a tough guy. He's a durable guy, but I think as soon as round 2 starts, we see the OG Chimaev, and he might knock his lights out in 15 seconds into the second round.
Absolutely. Let's get into the money-making portion of this.
Let's do it.
All right. So we have Chimaev as the heavy favorite, minus 550. No money to be made there. Jingliang coming at plus 455. Let's see, under 2.5. Geez, minus 185 for under 2.5. Minus 108 for under a round and a half. That's still steep. You don't really see these odds every day.
No, not really.
I'm surprised Chimaev by TKO is plus 170. I'm taking that to the bank.
I was about to say that's probably the best thing you're going to get here. And yeah, that's the only way he's going to win. Not to say that he's not good in other aspects, but I don't see him. He's not the kind of guy that wants to get out of there with a rear naked choke and say he won a fight. This dude's trying smash. He's trying to make a statement. He's trying to come back and say, I'm a better 170 pounder than Leon Edwards. I'm a better 170 pounder than Vicente Luque and Gilbert Burns. I deserve that belt fight.
Yeah. And I think this fight is going to propel him to a top 3, maybe against Vicente or even, Edwards. But this guy has it. I think he has the juice, unless, all this time off is effective, in which hard to believe. He's the real gangster.
Look, I was just thinking about the fact that Khamzat was matched up with Leon before he got COVID. And I'm like, they give him the leech trying to, get his feet wet again, trying to get him back in the cage. But I'm like, this guy's not an easy night out. And if I were Chimaev, I think I might want Leon.
Yeah, I think Leon's a good fight. Dude, I'm so excited for this fight. This is going to be such a good fight. This is going to be smash, just smash.
I absolutely agree. Look, one more. Chimaev in round 2 at plus 450. That's my wild card. That's the one I'm pulling out of my ass this week that's going to hit.
All right. I'm taking the TKO money on Khamzat Chimaev.